What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Big Cat 188. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys how you can break your PR in Warzone and how you can consistently get high kills in Warzone. So if you guys find any of these tips helpful, make sure you give this video a like. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new, because we have content coming out on the daily for gun builds and also how you can get better at Warzone. And make sure you guys go ahead and follow my Twitch link down in the description below, where I live stream every single day, where you guys can come chill with me and we can just vibe out over there. Now for the tips that I'm going to be giving you guys, I'm going to give you guys what I think and what I go through every single game when I play and how I get my high kill games. Honestly guys, dropping 10 kills should be extremely easy for you, because you should be getting a good 5 kills within like the first 3 minutes of the game, 10 kills within the next like 6 minutes. So getting 10 kills should be extremely easy. Well, I see that a lot of players actually struggle to even get 5 kills a game. So hopefully my tips that I'm going to be sharing with you guys in this video are going to help you guys improve, especially if you start implementing it in your gameplay. Now for my first tip, it is going to be spawn in a hot location. A lot of players don't actually spawn in a hot spot. They're going to spawn in weird spots like farmland or prison. Now I get it, if you want to go for the win and do recon strat or whatever, you know, you go ahead and do that, but clearly you wouldn't be on this video if you weren't trying to get high kills. So we're going to completely ignore all that. I don't even want to hear anybody say anything about it in the comment section below. If you're looking for high kill games, you need to spawn in a hot location. The hot location will depend on where the flight path is in the beginning of the game, because sometimes the flight path might fly straight across salt mine into downtown. That means superstore and all those general hotspots are not going to be the most player condensed areas. So the flight path spawns over downtown and salt mine and all that stuff. Well, guess what? You know, a lot of players are going to be downtown and salt mine, which means a lot of players are going to be camping on top of buildings. It's going to be a lot harder to get kills in downtown than it will be to get kills superstore or dealership by superstore or cop and all those places that are around superstore, you know, storage. It's going to be a lot harder to get kills. So I always like to tell players, make sure you just spawn around the hot spot. That is what I give in my other tip video. Spawn around the hot location, not away from it like farmland. If it's a superstore is a hot spot, land around the hot location, because that means you guys can get your loadout faster. And if you get your loadout faster, we already know your loadout is better than floor loot, especially when you guys are using meta weapons. Also, make sure you guys are leveling up your guns. Make sure you guys are keeping up to date on what the best weapons are in Warzone to use. The fastest TTK weapons are 9 times out of 10 going to kill you than you using some random niche gun that has terrible recoil and has 0 damage to it. Now I'm not saying you can't get kills with some of these other weapons, but you know, using the meta weapons and the guns with the fastest TTKs are going to give you the best advantage in gunfights. So another thing that I see a lot of low skill players do is you guys actually waste a lot of time farming. When you do land, you know, kill whoever's around the spot and all that, but you need to quickly loot. That means you guys do not need to open up every single chest you see if you already have enough money for a loadout and maybe a UAV. You know, you can leave those chests to be, man. Just let them sit there. Somebody else can have it, whatever, does not matter. If you have the money to get your loadout as soon as possible, because if you have a loadout, you have a heartbeat. You know, that's generally pretty much the equivalent of a UAV in the beginning of the game, where nobody has their loadout, everybody's still rocking with floor loot. And especially if you guys can get a UAV early, you're at a huge advantage over every other team, because you know the exact location of players, which means you can set yourself up for when you go ahead and push them to give yourself the best advantage, the best positioning to kill these players. So after you do get your loadout, the best way for you to farm money is to do bounties, because bounties will give you the location of a team if you don't have a UAV, and it will also give you and your squad a handful of cash so you guys can go ahead and buy UAVs, buy self-reses, and start really pushing the pace and pushing teams a lot quicker, because you guys consistently will have UAVs pop, which means you can go ahead and rush a lot of teams before the second zone starts, because we already know when the second zone comes and everybody gets their loadout, a lot of people are going to be moving and rotating towards their loadout, and that means that's free picks. A lot of people won't have ghosts before their second loadouts, which means that's easy picks, because you know their exact location. They do not know where your location is. Another tip that I'm going to give for you guys, you know, you're already getting bounty money, you already have UAVs pop. What you guys want to start doing now is pushing the pace. You do not want to waste any more time farming. You know, go ahead, run over the enemy team's body, get your plates, get your ammo ammo refilled off them, but do not waste any time looting that said area. A lot of players will get kills and then they will go ahead and loot the surrounding area. Man, what is all that looting gonna do for you? It's gonna do absolutely nothing, especially when you're going for high kills, because when you're going for high kills, you want to push the pace, do everything faster, you know, finish your kills faster. You want to loot the bodies faster. You just want to push the pace extremely quick. Any extra time that you waste could be another team that could die to another team, or a third party where you could have the advantage in a gunfight. The majority of your kills, guys, will come between the first circle, so before the second zone pops and everybody has their loadout. And another time where a lot of kills will come is when the game starts to get down to like the bottom half of players, so like, you know, the top 50 of players, because everybody is gonna have to start rotating into a smaller and a smaller zone. So you can expect players to be literally scattered everywhere throughout the zone because it will be small. And then on the contrary, you guys want to make sure you are slowing down the pace once it starts to get into that top 50, because a lot more players will have their loadout. Pretty much every team will have their loadout, assuming they're not dying and going to gulag, which means they will be ghosted 9 times out of 10. Now, a tip that I like to give a lot of people, because a lot of people always are like, how did you see him, or how do you know they're there, or blah blah blah. Guys, look, there's a lot of indicators for you guys to find teams. Now, that's overspray, and that's the bullets that you see that are shooting from out in the distance. If you see like bullets going over your head, you know there's a team in that general direction. Also gunfire sounds, so you can hear suppressors. You might not show up on the map, but you can hear people shooting suppressed weapons. You can hear people shooting, you know, obviously guns without a suppressor. So that will also give you another location of where enemy players could be potentially hiding. So just make sure you guys are extremely aware of your surroundings, because your environment can give you a lot of information, even though you might not have a UAV or any teams might be ghosted. So another tip that I want to give you guys for getting high kill games, have vehicles to rotate. Now, I know a lot of times you might not have a vehicle to rotate because people might take them and all, which means you guys need to learn how to slide cancel, because slide canceling is the fastest way to move around the map. But if you do have a vehicle, a heli, a rover, a G-Wagon, whatever, make sure you guys are using your vehicles very, very smart. That does not mean go ahead, drive up on a team and just mindlessly drive up in the middle of them and get sprayed up, because you're just gonna die. What you guys want to do is you want to use your vehicles very tactically. You know, if you have a heli, fly to the top of the building and shoot down on a squad. If you guys are using the regular cars, make sure you guys are going to the building next to them, picking off a couple of them, then going ahead and rushing their building and taking the team out and, you know, getting that team wipe. But a lot of you players, you guys don't do the smart thing. You will just full send a team driving up on them. You guys don't know the skill level of the team that you're pulling up on. They might be extremely skilled or they might be bots. You just never know. So you always want to take the precautionary measures and go into the building next to it, or go into a better position where you can give yourself the best advantage, because guys, positioning is the #1 reason why pro players and high skill players such as myself, we can get a lot of kills. We can get 10 kills extremely easy because we know how important positioning is. Positioning can literally carry the worst player, you know, assuming they have decent aim, it will carry them to get a good amount of kills. That means catching players off of rotating, having zone positioning. That means, you know, being at the top of the building, or, you know, camping a stairwell if you have to. Just having the best positioning will generally get you the majority of your kills. Obviously, that mixed with a good gun skill will definitely get you high kill games every single match. If you have some of the best gun skill in the lobby, you know, how do you really die besides, you know, getting caught off guard or getting caught off by somebody that just had a better spot than you on the map, a better position than you on the map. So another tip to get high kill games is, guys, do not waste your gulag. Your gulag is extremely important. You want to try to save it for as late in the game as possible, because if you die off rip and lose your gulag, that means you lose security. If you're going on a streak and you have like maybe 12 kills and you go ahead and die, you have gulag, but the gulag wastes an extreme amount of time. We've all been there when we go to the gulag and there might be 100 players up, and by the time we get out the gulag, there might be 70 players up. So saving your gulag or not going to the gulag at all is the most ideal situation in every single match. You guys want to make sure you are playing your life, because if you guys have to go ahead and retreat in a team fight or gunfight, make sure you give yourself the space to retreat, the positioning to retreat, because going to the gulag will slow down you getting high kill games. Now, I'm not saying you cannot come back from the gulag and, you know, still keep the pace push, but you generally have to re-get your loot, you know, farm back in. Now you don't have perks, so you will start spawning up up on UAVs since you won't have ghost. All these things matter when it comes to getting high kill games. You do not want to be wasting your guys' gulag, especially very early on in the match. So I've given you guys a lot of tips already. If you are following, I'm kind of giving you this story of how I get my high kills every single game. The last thing that is not a part of the story, this is going to be practicing your skill, guys. Practice your gun skill, practice your centering, practice aiming, practice, you know, your movement. All of these are what you would call the basics. Now, if you practice the basics, it will make a lot of these other things easier. The other things aren't necessarily more advanced, like positioning or pushing the pace or spawning a hot spot. It just will make spawning a hot spot a lot easier because your gun skill will just be better than most players, or pushing the pace is going to be so much easier because your skill will start to carry you through a lot of situations. You know, you might sometimes put yourself in a bad situation. It happens, guys. It really happens. But that does not mean you have to just die. You can definitely finesse your way out of some extreme situations. So if you guys are looking for videos on how to get better and how to improve your aim in Warzone, I have 2 videos that I'm going to leave in the link in the description below, and I'm also going to leave them at the end card at the end of the video. So this is going to take us to the end of the video, guys. If you guys found any of these tips helpful and you guys followed, you know, the picture I tried to paint for you guys, make sure you hit this video with a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What is your PR in Warzone? Did these tips help you? And let me know what steps are you guys struggling with when it comes to getting high kill games, because guys, there is no easy way or no like set plan for you guys to get high kill games, because you could very much follow all of these steps but truly just get unlucky in every situation. But these are what I would call the best practices for how you could get high kill games every single match. So make sure you guys are just practicing these tips over and over again, implementing them into your game, watching other players who get a lot of high kills, and just learning from what they do. Observe how they play, play in different situations and circumstances, because they're not always in the best spot or the best advantage. The higher skill players, such as pros and myself, we can easily finesse a bad situation and turn it into a good situation. So like I said, guys, that's gonna take us to the end of the video. Be sure to like this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm Big Cat 188 and I'm out. Peace.